sponsor, they emptied their savings accounts and leveraged all assets to fulfill their financial obligations to car owner Dick Simon. So for the Vitolos, literally everything rides on their performance here today. Paul?
All right, let's take a look at the 11 rows of three, the front row. Al Unser Jr., Raul Boesel, and defending champion Emerson Fittipaldi. In row two, rookie Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Andretti, and Lynn St. James, the third row. Nigel Mansell, Arie Luyendyk, and Mario Andretti. As we saw a puff of smoke off of one of the cars, John Andretti had the car in the wrong gear, couldn't roll away. He has now. Eddie Cheever, Dominic Dobson. In the fifth row, Stan Fox, Hidesi Masuda, and Dennis Vitolo. In row number 6, Jimmy Vasser, rookie Scott Sharp, and Hiro Masusta. The seventh row, Robbie Gordon, Roberto Guerrero, and rookie Brian Till. In row 8, rookie Brian Herta, Scott Brayton, and Teo Fabi. The ninth row is Paul Tracy, Adrian Fernandez, and Stefan Johansson. The 10th row, former winner Bobby Rahal, rookie Mauricio Gugelmin, and John Paul Jr. And the 11th and final row, Mike Groff, rookie Marco Greco, and Scott Goodyear. Bobby Unser, as we take a look at him, what are you thinking?
Well, Paul, from up where I'm standing, I can really see down the cockpits. Nobody of the drivers are waving to the crowd. It's concentration time. They're doing their last-minute adjustments inside, the last shoulder harness adjustment, checking their gauges, warming the oil slow. They're really in concentration right now.
You're looking on board the pace car. That, of course, is the great Parnelli Jones, the first man to break the 150-mile-an-hour barrier here at Indianapolis. You look out the rear of that car. Let's go high up over turn 4. Here's Danny Sullivan.
Well, let me tell you, this is one of the most nervous times in a driver. You're about to come down and take that green flag. You just don't want to screw up. And some people are thinking about, I got to get a great start, but it's total focus. The crowd, they don't see any of that.
Remember, Danny, that last year Raul Boesel streaked into the lead at the start. He's got a score to settle with this race, and he may be prepared to take every chance to stay ahead of those Mercedes. Moments ago, I was in the garage with him, and crew chief Mo Nunn was telling him the wind is in the same direction as when he qualified, and Dick Simon wants him to lead it if he possibly can.
The cars are on the backstretch now, beginning to align in their familiar rows of 3. They should go green as they come off the 4th and final turn. An empty track behind the pace car as it accelerates. Al Unser Jr. controls the field. A very slow pace at this point. In a few seconds, it will quicken. We hope for a fast start. We pray for a safe start here at Indianapolis.
Paul, I think he's bringing it down slow to get that pace car out of the way, and then he'll gradually build up as they are now. The crowd is going crazy. They're picking up the pace.
Little Al picks up the pace. Raul Boesel drops back just a bit as the field flows toward the green flag now off the 4th and final corner. Dwayne Sweeney has the flag, and the green flag is out. Oh, look at that start. He gave him the green just as they passed underneath. And Little Al jumps to the lead. Aerial bombs fire off over the top of the track to indicate the start of this great race.
Bobby, I couldn't believe that start. They were totally out of line. I could not believe that he gave that as a green start.
Danny, USAC was considering stopping it. Then they decided maybe it was halfway decent. They decided 2 cars were up. Boesel didn't just keep up. But as they went through turn 2, everybody was smooth and in good shape.
Well, and Boesel's dropped back to about 6th spot. He really got pinched in at the start. I'm sure he's fired up.
Al Unser Jr., the first pole sitter to lead the first lap since Rick Mears in 1991. Little Al is in front. He is chased by his teammate Emerson Fittipaldi. Michael Andretti has moved up and picked up the 3rd position. Then Arie Luyendyk, then Mario Andretti and Eddie Cheever. They're on the backstretch.
This is the Mercedes power that we talked about. They were able to just jump the start and pull away. I reckon they've throttled back a little bit now. No reason to show all their cards right away here in the race.
Well, I don't know if Little Al's doing that. He's going pretty good, but Emerson is running very conservative, and I think he's got a little understeer in the car because he's already running down on the rumple strips.
Danny, watch for Robbie Gordon in the number 9 Valvoline car. He came through here awfully high, way out of the group.
The first lap run at an average of 206 miles an hour. There are the track speeds, front backstretch and in the turns.
Ordinarily, the Penske team would run each man for himself. This is a special case, and we may see some tactics by the Penske team today.
Al Unser, Big Al, as he watches his son lead the Indianapolis 500. from Mario Andretti's car. As the field strings out now, they've into single file. No one in contest at this moment, though it's still very tight at the front of the field. There's Mario closing on Arie Luyendyk. Arie currently sits in fourth.
Arie's doing a tremendous job. You know, he hasn't been that fast all month, but here's a guy that drives very, very well at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Let's take a look at a replay of this start. Now, watch the car that's in the middle of the front row. That's Raul Boesel.
The minute he's pinched in and has to get out of the power, two things happen. He loses his speed and he hits the turbulence from the cars right in front of him.
Well,
Boesel, who'd hoped for such a good start, really moved backwards suddenly.
Actually, Sam, what he's trying to do...
Raul Boesel has been talking to his crew over the radio as he drops back to ninth. Jack Arute, what's he saying?
He was surprised, Paul, when he made that pass, when he lost that front row position. Dick Simon just told me he keyed the mic, and it was dead silence. That move left Raul Boesel speechless as well.
Actually, I think what Boesel was trying to do was to force the two Penske drivers to slow down and come back to him.
Well, Bobby, down here, they really pinched him. He had nowhere to go but to back out of it and get out of the gas, and they had a nice, steady build-up, and he just lost it.
Being in the middle is a little rough sometimes on the start, Eddie.
That's right.
Eddie Cheever, you see going by, picked up 6 spots on lap 1. So he is a man, the reverse of Boesel. He had a great start and is moving fast.
We'll keep the laps to go up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen as 5 are already into the record book here at Indianapolis, with Al Unser Jr. jumping from the pole and taking the lead and staying there. Eddie Cheever in that bright green car looking very solid as he's carving his way through this field.
Paul, Eddie really got something to prove. He was upset about losing his drive a couple of years ago. This is a one-off deal. He's got Buick power, and he really wants to show well here. Danny,
I said, what's the problem, Eddie? I mean, you haven't had enough chance to practice this year. He said, actually, I've run more at the Speedway than any other year, so he's ready.
So Al Unser Jr. has the lead of this race, and Roger Penske keeps track of him from the pits, as well as his cars of Fittipaldi and Paul Tracy. Paul Tracy has moved up to 21st position since the start. We've got a yellow. We've got a yellow. Dennis Vitolo running slow there. And something on his nose of his car. Hard to tell what it is. Looks just like a stream of paper or tape. Keep an eye on this car. Bobby Unser, Dennis Vitolo is coming your way. Can you get any idea?
I'll take a look at him, Bob, but so far we didn't see anything the lap before. But as he comes through here, we really don't see any problems.
He had a quick spin up here in turn 4.
Okay, so Danny Sullivan reports Dennis Vitolo with just a quick spin. Danny, I would suspect that he didn't touch anything at all from the condition of the car.
I didn't see him touch anything. I just saw the end of it and see the little spin marks right there.
All right, let's take a look. We'll see it. Watching for the red car of Vitolo, and there it is. Quick spin and back pointed straight. That's enough to bring out the yellow. Here's another angle of it.
Oh, beautiful spin. That's a Danny Sullivan style spin, but by a man with much less experience. Dennis Vitolo, a rookie who put all his life savings into this race and nearly had him wiped out there.
Well, Sam, he was very, very lucky. It's very seldom that somebody can spin and keep going that good.
Bobby, one of the things that I noticed in watching this tape is he was really trying to pinch the car down very low. His skid started back a little ways, but very low on the track.
And Teo Fabi had a real scare when Vitolo spun in front of him. There's Dennis's wife, Corinne. But he is back in the action. We'll be back. Back in Indianapolis, the green flag has just come out. That's Mario Andretti continues to keep at the back end of Arie Luyendyk in an ongoing battle for 4th place as they come back to green flag racing. Al Unser Jr. is still the leader, followed by Fittipaldi and then Michael Andretti. We focus on this battle for 4th.
I don't know if you noticed that, Paul, but when he got in there pretty tight on Arie, he lost the front end a little bit. I don't know if he can get right up underneath him because the air is taken away from the front and it washes it out.
All right, let's go to the pits, Jerry Punch.
With all they've mortgaged to get here, Corrine Vitolo nearly lost her future, realizing her husband had just spun up out of turn 4. Now, what he said happened was he was trying to move beneath the car, got down on the rumble strips, and apparently lost it. He's reported the car is okay, his heartbeat coming back down, and he should be fine to continue. Let's check in the pits with Gary Gerald.
Quick report from Nigel Mansell's pit. Apparently at the same time, Villeneuve, who was in front of him, kicked up some debris. The debris hit Mansell in the helmet above the face shield. No damage done, a scare, but he's okay. Now back at race pace.
It's not atypical for Mansell to lie back a little bit in the early stages, particularly of an oval race like this. It does not mean he's running a little wide there, but it does not mean he's uncompetitive. We'll see him make a move, I am confident, soon.
Just ahead of Mansell there is the best battle on the track. Lyondike, Mario Andretti, now joined by Eddie Cheever. You got a glimpse of Raul Boesel, who is sitting just back behind Nigel Mansell.
It's incredible the way Arie Luyendyk comes alive for the Indy 500. He's won here, he's been second, he's had the pole position. He's really driving a team for a team now with less experience than the team should be doing this well. And one of the reasons for that is that he just doesn't feel the pressure here the way some of the others do.
But I think something we're also seeing here, he's making a move right there. He seems to be the only car that seems to be able to get underneath the other car in front of him. I think they're all having turbulence problems, and the track is very hot.
You know, what's interesting down here in turn 2, Paul, is the different personalities in the driving that we're already seeing. Some of the cars, for example, are clear down, almost touching the grass. Some of them, for example, like Robbie Gordon, are out in the gray and working a high group. So what this means is we're going to have a wider group today than we normally have.
You look back from Mario Andretti's car as he just flew underneath. The Bobby Unser is now on the long backstretch, continuing his pursuit of Arie Luyendyk, who is 9 seconds behind the leader of the race, Al Unser Jr.
And Little Al is now starting to get into his lap traffic. He's going to lap his first couple of cars, so we're going to see how he does there.
So there is Nigel Mansell, continuing his pursuit from 7th place. 13 laps are complete, and Al Unser Jr. has led every one of them, including through our first yellow flag. We'll be back.
Indy500, this ABC Sports exclusive, brought to you by Chevrolet. One car company has won more NASCAR races over the last 10 years. Genuine Chevrolet. Goodyear, #1 in tires. Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. And cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
We're back at Indianapolis, watching Al Unser Jr. as he carves his way through this field now. Already overhauling the back of the field. He's been around Brian Till and Dennis Vitolo. And if what they wanted to do with the Mercedes-Benz engine is run away from the field, he's certainly trying that here.
Well, one of the tactical scenarios for Team Penske was to have a rabbit in the race. And look at Little Al. They obviously have chosen Little Al to be that rabbit. But that's surprising because the book on Little Al is he starts the race slow and moves up faster and faster toward the end. So this is the rabbit, but it's not the one that we would have expected.
Yeah, but I think one of the important things here is Little Al obviously has a car exactly where he wants it. The car, that's all confidence the way he's driving right now. He can go anywhere he wants, pass high or low. He doesn't care. He's running very within himself.
That last car that he ducked by was Brian Herta driving A.J. Foyt's car. So Al Unser Jr. running away with this race. Coming up later today here on ABC Sports, Nancy Lopez, Brandy Burton, Patty Sheehan, and defending champion Betsy King shoot it out in the final 9 holes of the J.C. Penney LPGA Skins Game. That's today at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, and 12:30 Pacific time here on ABC Sports. So the Mercedes-Benz engine, the big question of the day. For the time being, it has been answered. These are the answers that were expected.
But of course, it's early in the going, and question marks about whether their tire wear will stand up, whether their transmission, which is new for this race, has never been in a race before, will last the distance, whether some little thing like a belt coming off might cripple them toward the end, who knows.
Yellow lights just come on.